Oh, sorry. Well, I think to myself, and we've gone live. All right. I just have to do the standard stuff I have to do of getting the chat happening as well, so I can see what the fine people who join me are saying. So we've got to pop out the chat. And I see that Musical Aviator and Yori are already with me. Hello to you. And now I'll get my Vision. And then I've got my chat and I'm ready to go. Oh, yes. And Musical Aviator, you're right. Heat wave now turning into a flood tomorrow. 1 in 100 years rain event in Melbourne. That ought to be fun. And hello, Batherite as well. So yeah, that's Melbourne for you. A couple of days in a row of over 30 Celsius, up around 35 Celsius. And then we're going to have once in 100-year rain event, which is very likely to cause rather severe flash flooding. So much to look forward to tomorrow. I mean, I'm tempted. I almost want to be in the city with a camera tomorrow to see if I can catch some spectacular rain. Would be a very interesting a visual, I think. Hey, Aussie Gun Bunny, how's it doing? So yeah, that's the joy of being in Melbourne in 24 hours. Flip from heat wave to torrential rain and severe flash flooding. That's just the way it goes. That rain's been moving down the east coast for a couple of days. Like 2 days ago, it hit Queensland and spent a day or so drenching Queensland, and then it sort of hit Sydney yesterday and tomorrow, or it's going to reach Melbourne early tomorrow morning, and might set in all day, or might be extreme bursts at various times, as Musical Aviator said. Around 4 p.m. there might be 100 millimeters of rain in an hour, which would be, I think, catastrophic would be a good way to put it. The amount of damage that could cause is pretty substantial. So could be an interesting day. I mean, there was flash flooding in Melbourne in 1972. The age for a hoot said, oh, how bad is it going to be? Well, this happened in 1972 when there was 70 millimeters in an hour. And there were these photos from various points around the CBD. And it's pretty severe, like cars on Flinders Street being underwater. And to me, the bit that reaches dangerous, some of the underpasses for the railway and stuff. Of course, flooding goes straight down. That strikes me as very dangerous. That sort of shit could kill you. And as you say, Aussie Gun Bunny, it does not look like this would go where farmers need it. They certainly don't want this much rain in a short period on their crops, because it would damage or possibly destroy them. And their catchment areas would be good. See, I mean, if this dumps on Melbourne, it's just going to go straight in the storm drains into the Yarra and out to sea. I have no idea if any of this is going to dump on any of our catchments, fill up some dams. Who knows? But it looks like being an interesting day. So, yeah, after this, This is my mentality. When something really spectacular and possibly dangerous happens, I'm always thinking, "Oh, that'd make a good YouTube video, wouldn't it? Well, that'd be pretty awesome." Um, you know, which is not necessarily the most productive way to think about things. I was out of Melbourne, having a weekend away a couple of years ago, and there was a real downpour, and the relatively new Southern Cross station has this roofing that has all these pitches and curves, just had so much water land on it, and it was so heavy and it couldn't drain off because of the volume that was coming down. It actually broke the roof, and like huge fucking waterfalls were pouring down onto the platforms. Yeah, and I just saw it and went, man, that'd make a good video. I wish I was there to get video from it. Yeah, well, we don't manage stormwater at all, as far as I can see, Aussie Gun Bunny. I mean, for extreme events like this, the fixation is make it go away quickly. Uh, uh, and in the Melbourne CBD, I don't know if there are any options of where you could route it to store it. I mean, because we're on a river and the risk of flooding is high. So the number one thing people think of with severe amounts of storm water is how to make it go away quickly. Whereas for such a dry country, some way to capture it would be good. It's just that I think logistically, that's quite difficult and quite expensive. Of course, well, I agree with you, Aussie Gun Bunny, that salvaging stormwater is a very good idea, and it's kind of stupid that we don't. Someone has to pay the bill, and that's where it always falls down, when someone has to pay the bill. So I'll go out on a limb and say there are two reasons we don't have an efficient stormwater capture system. One is it would be quite a difficult engineering feat. Two would be mucho expensive, and no one wants to foot the bill for it. Calendar 4, 5, 6, 7 also collapsed. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying a new snack. Yes, this is very interesting. They're like little potato pillows. They actually look pretty good. Anyway, yeah. So suburbs. There's a suburb not far from me. Is actually where my son goes to school. It's one of those suburbs that's reclaimed swamp and has a few drainage canals through it. It's notorious for getting really badly flooded in flash floods, and it's probably going to get tomorrow. He heard me talking about it and he goes, "Oh, can I stay home? Can I not go to school?" And I go, "You have to go to school." And okay, yeah, but it might flash flood, and then you might not be able to leave school. You might be cut off for a while. And he's like, can I stay home? So we're going to see if the downpour has started before he goes to school tomorrow. Oh, Miss Foxification, you're on the money. Infusions. Yes, I'm not sponsored. Richie, I wondered what you were getting at there. Official snack of Peter Dutton. Because, of course, he looks like a potato. He looks like a semi-sentient potato. He doesn't look like this. This looks more interesting than Peter Dutton. It's actually astounding how much Peter Dutton looks like a potato. It's shocking. Tara's struggling as a sysadmin trying to find power and video cables. I I still don't have my new computer working. I almost had it working, and then I don't know, the drivers were fucking up, and it was freezing and crashing, and then it said, "Hey, you should download an update to Windows 10," and then it just stopped working altogether when I did that. So I'm getting someone to look at it. Really frustrating. Miss Foxification. This is the first time I've tried them because they're on sale at half price. That's how I get everything in my shopping. Hey, it's on special. I'm getting that. Oh, something salty with my drink. Can you see the shading of my drink? It's like an ombre drink. Uh, it's it's caramel vodka and lemonade, and with some red absinthe on the top, just sort of blending in. So it's a shaded drink, like the ladies like to do their hair. It's an ombre drink. Tara, drivers suck the proverbial. Why my computer? See, here's the thing with my new computer. My daughter built it. She built one for herself. She built a new gaming rig, worked a treat. She's super happy. And I said, okay, you're so clever. Build me a new high-performing one, and I'll use it for video editing. And I've just had no end of trouble. It's ridiculous. No rhyme or reason. Toriana, I am getting someone to look at the computer because I've struggled with it and can't get there. So I'm getting someone, hopefully better at computers than me, to look at it and try to, because it's a neat high-powered machine, and so I'd be able to render my videos really quickly. Because that's the one thing, when I do long videos, at the moment I'm stuck with my laptop because my previous desktop literally blew up when I plugged it in one day, which was scary as hell. And so I've been working off a laptop, which is a decent laptop, but it's not really made to process video. And so if I do like a 15, 20-minute video, like last night, the night before, I uploaded a 20-minute video, that took, well, I don't know, 2 hours to render on my laptop. Then it took 10 minutes to upload because I've got like super fast internet now. And so what I want is a super high powered computer, so it only takes 10 minutes to render, and then only takes 10 minutes to upload. It's far easier than, you know, hours of my evening being taken up with trying to process a video. Musical Aviator, you're at Swanston and Flinders on Friday for the Manus Island protest. Yes, you get lots of posters about Dutton there, because Dutton thinks it's great. Dutton thinks they aren't being mean enough to the asylum seekers on Manus Island. Dutton has no soul, basically. Dutton is a fucking monster. Everything about what's happening on Manus Island is terrible. Just to Australia's lasting shame, basically, that we're torturing people in the name of political ideology, which is just sick. And it isn't as if either major party can hold their head up on this, because it's just, ugh. It's just, yeah, it's just terrible. Right, so I'm thinking I might put a little message up on Facebook saying I'm here, just in case there's people who don't know. Now, do you gotta copy that link and go to the Bookie to Face. It's just so yeah, I mean, while I'm worried about floods, I mean, Adelaide's having problems. They've lost power again because of storms bringing down power lines. So that kind of sucks. Hope we don't lose power with all this shenanigans going on. That would suck. I'm just looking forward to the heat wave going away because my aircon isn't surviving. Oh dear, yes. I just saw the comments about how Australian politics is a train wreck, and yeah, to the extent that some politicians have actually said migrants cause traffic problems in Western Sydney. That's an actual thing actual politicians said, which is ridiculous. The letter T. Yeah, how pissed off was AD with Don Burke? Really? Because he came over to my place and I said, look, let's do a pre-recorded video rather than live stream. And here's the topic of the day, Don Burke. And AD hadn't actually seen it. But AD, when I told him, AD said, I thought for years Don Burke was a fucking psycho. Look at his eyes. And, you know, I personally, I was in the dark, but AD said, I know, I saw his psycho. But then I told him, like, it's da-da-da. Burke was out of doing this. This many people went on the record, including former heads of Channel 9. And I said, oh, and then Burke went on TV and his excuse was he has Asperger's. And AD, who is on the spectrum, took that kind of fucking personally. He got really pissed off. So, yeah. Oh, Tariana, I like that. An air conditioner in your bedroom for summer, that makes good. But yeah, yeah, good point, mate, musical aviator. In Melbourne, we're just swapping types of wetness. For the last couple of days, it's been sweat. Today in particular, it was like 35 plus. And tomorrow, fuckloads of rain. Yeah, so Shempmeister, I get where you're coming from. You're saying Don Burke doesn't seem as big as Weinstein, Spacey, Louis C.K. Hey, and Matt Lauer, the biggest guy on morning TV in America, guy worth tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to the network. He's gone. But, okay, and Don Burke has been off the air for over a decade, but for the 2 decades he was on air, he was a fucking juggernaut. He was huge. I mean, who would you have to get now for it to be a big thing? Is there like 1 or 2 people who are dominant in Australian TV at the moment? Oh, Sean, thanks for letting me know who you are, by the way. Oh yeah, Miss Foxification, the Hey Dad creep. Again, we got him decades after the fact as well. I'm trying to think if there's someone who's on air now who get taken down. I mean, yeah, public face type things, like, you know, someone like from the Footy Show, Eddie Maguire. Eddie Maguire's still really powerful in there, yeah. If he got done, that would be a big deal. John, I get what you're saying. Some of these people getting done, it really hurts. And I agree with you. Sean McAuliffe got exposed as being a sexual predator. That would be so sad. Musical aviator. Ray Hadley. He's a radio person. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. Mixed Foxification. The idea that Sam Newman doesn't have people who have been sexually harassed by him is hard to think. Okay, Aussie Gun Buddy. If Waleed Ali got outed as being a sexual harasser, that would be pretty big. Oh yeah, Tara, the list of 60 to 65 names, that is Tracy Spicer, former newsreader, now working for Fairfax, and was behind the joint Fairfax ABC investigation that outed Don Burke. So the fact that there are so many men who've been named, men in the Australian media industry who've been named, they must all be quaking in their boots. Oh, Aussie Gun Bunny. Guy from the breakfast show, Carl Stefanovic, because he's always been sort of hip and with it and whatnot. And he's just got divorced. So I reckon, honestly, at the very least, he's been having affairs. Oh, God. Shempmeister, that's dark. Then Johnny Young, because he had young talent time. He surrounded himself with young people. If it turns out he was fiddling little kids, that would be awful. Oh, yeah, Koshi. That's who you meant, Aussie Gun Buddy, the finance guy. Koshi. Yeah, God. But yeah. I suppose there could be a few people. I mean, you know what I want? I mean, okay, Don Burke was awful and should have been exposed and whatnot. But when two former heads of the network said, oh yeah, Don Burke was the worst. He was a scumbag. Fuck that guy. It's like, why didn't you do something? Why did you not do something? No, Biori. Yeah, if your local news in Bulgaria is getting more sensationalistic, that's a bad thing. It's basically, Rupert Murdoch has corrupted the institution of journalism around the world. Rupert Murdoch's the fucking devil, basically. It's just a completely amoral, money-hungry, sick bastard. And yeah, what he did with the tabloids in England, dragged down print media in the UK and ultimately print media around the world. And then when he started Fox News, that dragged down TV news worldwide. It's just like, man, he is such garbage. Honestly, Rupert Murdoch is fucking vile. I do want, Aussie Gun Money, I do want the people in the networks, the suits behind the scenes, who covered for the celebrity predators. I want them to pay. Like, they're as guilty. The protectors are as guilty. Yeah, Musical Aviator, absolutely right. If you don't want your network, your production company, whatever, dragged through the mud by allegations of sexual abuse, when someone does it, you fucking fire them. Luke, who do I think are the worst reporters for Fox? I don't watch Fox, so I don't know. I mean, obviously the big talking heads, I mean, Sean Hannity's obviously the worst. Now they've got rid of O'Reilly. Sean Hannity is obviously the worst. He's just fucking terrible. Tara lighting fires under Mark Latham. I mean, look, if it makes you feel good, do it. I don't think he's worth it. Like, I don't spend a lot of time attacking Mark Latham, even though he's garbage. Like, he's awful. He's not just someone I disagree with. He's vile, reprehensible garbage. But I just don't think he's worth it. But hey, if you find it fun to bait him and whatnot, go for it. I mean, just like, oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Tara. Latham is a crybaby. Latham is pathetic and weak and thin-skinned and mentally unstable, quite honestly. But you know, I mean, Fox. You know who I do like on Fox News? Shep Smith. He occasionally just tells it like it is, and even to the point of criticizing his own network and saying, "Come on, this coverage is bullshit." Thanks for dropping by, Mega Leech. Wherever you got to go, I hope you enjoy yourself. Shepmeister, a bolt getting done for harassment would be good. I mean, he's already been done in the courts for racial harassment. Hey, Caleb, I am doing well. I hope you're well too, buddy. Sue Klaus, that, to me, that's it. That hits the nail on the head. This excusing of the most awful, vile behavior is this boys will be boys bullshit. It's the biggest fucking shit. Like, no, boys will be boys. Fuck it. No, people will be responsible for what they do and will face the consequences of what they do, whether they be boys, men, girls, women. If you do something, you should face up to the consequences of it. Yeah, Mike, what about Trump? You know, how the fuck he's still going is anyone's guess. You know, he's been retweeting actual fascists from England, and the White House press secretary defending him, just going, well, yeah, Muslims are bad. You go, no, he was retweeting actual fucking Nazis who are telling lies. Shempmeister, you raise a good point. Why aren't the media going hard on Trump and sexual harassment? That is a good question. Ooh, Mike, nice analogy. Teflon only needs a scratch before it starts peeling. Teflon is very strong and bulletproof and stuff slides off it, but once you rupture the surface of it, it falls apart. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Shepmaster, he tweeted the wrong Theresa May. Because Theresa May said the British Prime Minister said it was unacceptable for him to have retweeted fascists. He tweeted that Theresa May should look after her own stuff, but used the wrong Twitter handle. It's like ridiculous. Shepmaster, yeah, there's a very long line of women accusing Trump for everything up to and including rape, including an underage rape. So, yeah. Luke, you are right. Britain First is, in fact, garbage. Oh, yeah, Sue, for those who didn't see it, who remembers, okay, during the campaign, the big thing, the Access Hollywood tape, the thing we thought would sink him recorded boasting about sexually assaulting women, just saying, just grab them by the pussy, I can do whatever I want, blah, 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 blah. And he apologized for it. It was locker room talk, I'm ashamed. And somehow he got away with it. Now, I don't know that he's done it publicly, but privately, he started testing the waters, telling people that tape is fake. You know, the tape he admitted was real and he apologized for. Now he's literally just trying to say, oh, that isn't real. It's like, what fucking world are we living in? What fucking world are we living in when there's something that's known beyond any doubt to be real? It's absolutely, definitely real. Trump is on record as saying it's real and apologizing for it. And now he has thrown just the very concept of truth outside the window so much that he can consider saying, oh, you know that thing that I admitted was true? Now I'm going to say it isn't true. Hello, Graham. Good evening to you. Ms. Fox Application, look, maybe people are just staying quiet on Trump because they actually don't want to distract from the criminal prosecution that's brewing with the special counsel, Robert Mueller. I mean, because that could be fucking huge. I mean, the number of people that could be taken down by that, obviously including Trump, is pretty astonishing. Like, that's all but unprecedented in terms of an investigation. And like the 2-3 guys that have been named publicly as being charged with quite serious offences, that was scare tactics. That was them going, okay, I've got these guys, I've had them under my thumb for a couple months. Now I'm going to go public. So everyone in that administration knows I've had those guys under my thumb for months. So anything they've said for the last couple of months, I probably know. And just make the next ones roll over. Make the next ones roll over and turn someone else in until you get Trump. And it's pretty thin. Oh yeah, Ms. Foxification, you're right. Look, Democrats introducing articles of impeachment is meaningless. It has to be Republicans. As it stands, Trump can only be impeached by Republicans. Look, there's midterm elections next year. If the Democrats swept them, they'd have the numbers to actually pass an impeachment. But here's the thing. This is the thing you've got to remember, and I think a lot of people forget when you're talking about the American system. Impeachment is a political act that kind of has legal overtones. It's not a legal thing. Impeachment does not mean, therefore, Trump's a criminal. Bill Clinton got impeached, and it didn't affect his presidency as well. He got impeached for lying about getting a blowjob in the Oval Office, which is way down the scale of what Trump's going to get charged with ultimately. So even if Trump is impeached, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. What is more important is what happens after, or completely independent of impeachment, Mueller's criminal investigation. If Mueller finds grounds for criminal prosecution of Trump and reports and goes, I've got this stuff to go after Trump, then maybe finally the Republicans impeach Trump and he's open for prosecution, or they tell Trump to resign, or whatever, yada, 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 yada. Damn. Figugi, you're saying it's hot in Tasmania. That is saying something. You are right. Yes, Luke, MAGA is going to stand for many are getting arrested. Ultimately, because they are behaving blatantly like complete criminals, they're going to get done. There's no two ways about it. They're going to get done. Their criminal behavior is so blatant, it's going to catch up with them. But oh yeah, so you're right. The 25th Amendment of the US Constitution means you can declare a president unfit to serve. And look, here's the thing. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The scary thing about Trump, like we'll say about his Teflon, wasn't he already got? He has got this core of supporters, like about 30% of the US population, which is a lot of people, so worked up, he's thrown out just the very concept of truth. Truth doesn't exist. If Trump goes, there's no telling what this hardcore group of zealots are going to do. People with guns. The people who've been talking about insurrection, God knows what they're going to do. And here's the thing. If Trump gets prosecuted, they'll say it's a conspiracy and they'll go nuts. If Trump gets impeached, they'll say it's a conspiracy, it goes nuts. If Trump loses an election, they'll say it's a conspiracy and they'll go nuts. I mean, Trump is an old, unfit guy under a lot of stress. If he drops dead, they'll say it's a conspiracy and go nuts. I worry Trump has created a situation where his eventual removal by one means or another leads to an inevitable chaos. The question, can Turnbull be impeached? No, I think impeached is a specific term in the American political system at the present. Turnbull can be overthrown by his own party, as he did to Tony Abbott. A motion of no confidence can be cast against the government in the parliament. So there are ways to get rid of Turnbull, but I don't think the term impeachment is relevant. Aussie Gun Bunny, a Bosnian warlord general killed himself. He's charged with committing war crimes in The Hague. Wow. And rather than go to jail, he just poisoned himself. Okay. I'm Musical Aviator. I think that hardcore group of supporters, like 20 to 30% of the US population, will go fucking crazy no matter what. If Trump has criminal charges, if he's impeached, if he loses an election, if he runs out of term limit, if he drops dead, I think they will go crazy at anything. Miss Foxification, you see, he actually drank poison in the court. Okay, that's dramatic. That is making a statement. Now, that's hardcore. That's my view. I think Trump supporters will get against it. Man, the dude drank poison while being recorded. Fuck, that's going down in history right there. I did not see that, Dottie. Wow, that's going down in history. Bad crapper. Nice one, Graham. Wow, that's going down in history. I think from my youth, there was I still remember his name, Bud Dwyer. There was a state politician in the US on corruption charge. I think he'd been found guilty or he's just on charges. I'm not sure. But you can look him up. Bud Dwyer was his name. He called a press conference, said, charges against me are false, it's a witch hunt, blah, 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 normal stuff. Anyway, and then he pulled out a gun. And of course, all the media freaked out because he talked about trial by media and they thought he was going to start shooting at them. But he just put the gun in his own mouth and just went boosh. It wasn't live, fortunately. But yeah, here's the one I remember. Someone making sure there were photos and videos of him committing suicide. Fucking blew his brains out with a big ass gun. But yeah, drinking poison in The Hague, that's pretty big. That's a way to be remembered. Oh yeah, Tara. Hey, people telling you Trump was queer friendly. Fucking that piece of shit Caitlyn Jenner taking Trump's side. Oh my God, she's fucking awful. God, she's a piece of shit. Well, Toby, what Trump supporters say is Trump shot himself on live TV. I don't think that's going to happen. I can conceive of him having a stroke on live TV at one of his rallies where he's so desperate for attention and affirmation that he has rallies of drooling sycophants. I could see him having a stroke on one of those. But yeah, if he dies, they'll say he was poisoned, he was murdered, and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that's a good question. How did he get the poison? Of course, he clearly wasn't frisked. You know, he's probably had, a Sprite bottle. No, Graham, I am not going to dead name Caitlyn Jenner. That's disrespectful to all trans people. I am going to say Caitlyn Jenner is a fucking piece of shit. Caitlyn Jenner is fucking awful. Such a self-centered piece of shit. I mean, honestly. Dottie's lawyer thinks someone smuggled it to him. But why wasn't that person searched before going in? But yeah, anyway. Atara, it's perfectly straightforward to me. It's like when someone goes after someone they don't like and says, they're fat, or they're ugly. Look, if you are ideologically opposed to someone and all you can do is say they're fat or they're ugly, or say something offensive about their sexuality or gender, and no, attack the substance of what they are and what they're doing. That's what you do. So, but yeah, I mean, I feel guilty on the one level because for years Bruce Jenner was looking odd in public, and there was a running joke that Bruce Jenner looked like a middle-aged lesbian. And I used to laugh at that because I just thought Bruce Jenner was making bad fashion choices. But that was clearly like Caitlyn coming to terms with who she was. But I didn't know that at the time. I literally just thought Bruce Jenner's making really bad fashion choice. Yes, Aussie Gun Bunny, Caitlyn Jenner committed vehicular homicide and got away with it. She was really fucking guilty of really fucking criminal negligence in driving and got the fuck away with it, and I'll never know how. But it's yeah, it's one of those things. I try to I try to attack people for what they do, not for what they are. It's like, picking on someone because of their race or religion or gender or sexuality or any of these things. I try not to do that. I try to think, no, look what they did. They're a piece of shit. They're a piece of shit. Look what they did. Look what they do. And it's got nothing to do. Whereas I think all religions are stupid. And I think stuff done in the name of religion is stupid. And but I try not to pick on people because of their religion. I try to pick on because of the things they do. Hey, Dottie, look, you hit on something. It's like Caitlyn Jenner's biggest contribution to trans people is to say, look, trans people are literally just people. They can be completely worthless pieces of shit, same as anyone else. Trans people aren't saints. Trans people aren't transcendent. They aren't to be put on a shelf. They're not delicate things to be protected and worshipped. People are people. And some people are good. Some people are shit. Most people are in the middle. Wow, Raise, the person hit her car, not the other way around. Look, honestly, I probably shouldn't say anything too extreme because I couldn't absolutely swear on exactly what happened. But from what I remember reading, Caitlyn Jenner seems really fucking guilty. Graham, you like the Korean Jesus. I've seen the Korean Jesus, yes. Oh, Tara, talking about things. Look, I saw this on ABC's Australian Stories, and to me, it was a fascinating story. There's this couple, you know, they started off as a lesbian couple, and then one half of the couple sort of said, look, I've been working through something my whole life, and I realize I'm actually a transgender man, and I'm going to transition. And it was like, wow, as a lesbian, that could potentially be really fucking hard to take. The person you're in love with is actually a man, and they stuck together. And the woman stuck with her trans man partner, and they stayed together. And I was like, wow. And the whole story was around the trans guy, and well and good. But I was watching it going, let's put the spotlight on the lesbian partner for a second, because she's pretty fucking supportive right here. I'm just saying, she's pretty fucking ride or die right here. She is going through a lot in this and being supported. And then the final twist me in the whole thing is the trans dude hadn't surgically transitioned, and they wanted to have a kid, and it was him who conceived and bore the child. And I'm just like this story was amazing. I mean, I just fucking loved it. And I was just like, this is incredible. These people are incredible. They are doing stuff that I can't conceive of, and they're sticking together through it. And it's just amazing. They are an absolutely amazing couple. And it was just so, and that's why I love seeing stuff that introduces me to something new. That just sort of like opens my world perspective, opens my mind a bit. And it was just like, holy crap, this whole thing is just a cavalcade of holy fuck. Look at you two. You two are fucking awesome. You are fucking awesome. Tara, I am so glad your relationship's holding up. That is freaking, you're awesome too. I mean, maintaining any relationship is a fucking struggle. But when you start to throw in stuff that, you know, broadly, society can have some problems with, and all these other pressures and stresses happen on the relationship, to hold that relationship together is no small feat. And fucking hats off to you. And Tara, hats off to your wife as well. That is frigging awesome. You know, that to me, that's the epitome of love is love. So, I mean, it's one of those stories. Sometimes stuff comes out. I think, man, you people are way fucking stronger than me. And it doesn't have to be about relationships and stuff. It can be about people coping with kids with serious illnesses, or kids dying for that matter, and people having the strength to get through that. I'm always amazed. We see people who've lived something that I haven't lived, and they don't just survive, they thrive, and they do really well. And I'm like, whoa, hats off. Totally. Great. You don't like Russian Jesus. Very angry and always on the vodka. I don't know. When I think of Russian Christianity, I think of the Orthodox stuff, all the stained glass windows and the statues of saints and whatnot. Vodka, it's hard. You know, it's a stereotype. Hard not to think of vodka and Russia. Look, speaking of which, there's nothing left in my bag. Okay, thinks for drinks. I know what I'm going to have. Okay, I gotta get some ice. All right, just gotta go over here and get some ice. Okay. Okay. Ugh. Okay, we're back. Dottie, you know a couple where the bisexual wife was planning to transition before she met a husband who's straight, opted to stay female with. See, this thing, people, relationships, and love, this stuff happens. Oh, that's nice, Tara. Lisa's helping you with the clothing and what. And look, I mean, you're being a bit lighthearted here, and I'm too. But that is a thing. If you're a trans person and you were raised to dress as a particular gender, and you realize that's not you, having to understand how to dress as who you really are, that's no small undertaking. What I'm going to drink, this is a herbed bourbon. Bourbon, I've mentioned it before. I'm going to have it with some lemon drink. So it's like a herbed Lynchburg lemonade. It's nice, not too sweet. This lemon, the sugar-free Solo Extreme Lemon. Although masculinity is so fragile, Solo does this really weird advertising. They try to be hyper masculine, and it's a little bit sad. I don't mind this drink. They're advertising this. Like this even says low sugar, but it's not low sugar. It's no sugar. It's a diet drink, but they don't call it a diet drink because women drink diet drink. Men do. But this is like, we want a tangy drink. It's low sugar, so it's tangy and not sweet. Oh, it's pathetic, really. Aussie Gun Bunny saying you only have one gay bar in your town and they can't fly a rainbow flag because it gets stolen and someone burned a flag on the front door. Well, I agree with you, my friend. That is horrible. You're absolutely right, Tara, and that is worth pointing out. When we talk about trans people, some people choose to never have medical intervention. Some use hormones, some don't. It's like humans, basically. There is no one type of human. Humans are a spectrum. And this is what cracks me up. It's the idea of even just saying, people who are obsessed with saying, oh, no, there are only two genders, male and female, it's a binary, which doesn't hold up biologically, doesn't hold up scientifically, doesn't hold up culturally at all, doesn't hold up historically at all. But even just the idea of saying cisgender heterosexual people are just one thing is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Speaking as a cisgender hetero, and a lot of my friends are cisgender hetero, we're not all the same. We're not all in the same little box. And this sort of pathetic conservative people who try to say, no, everyone's in this same. No, we're not. You don't even have to be on the queer spectrum to not fit in a tiny little box. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Okay, Dottie, you've just said something really controversial there. Pepsi Max is Diet Pepsi in a different can. No, they taste different for a start, and Pepsi Max has more caffeine as well. And I've proved that to other people by doing blind taste tests. They definitely taste different. Musical Aviator, I don't know what Coke's problem is, why they replaced Coke Zero with Coke No Sugar. And it tastes different and does not taste as good. I heard stories, and I don't know if their stories are true, that the reason Coke changed it is because they did some market research that people didn't know Coke Zero meant zero sugar. Like they were asking people, what percent sugar do you think Coke Zero is? Is it 20%, 15%, 10%, 5%, 0%? And people were saying some percent, but no one was saying 0%. And I don't even know if that story is true, but that's a story I heard. That's why Coke changed from Coke Zero to Coke No Sugar. Oh yeah, misfoxification. Zero is marketed to males because Coke marketed Diet Coke so well that like all these women were drinking Diet Coke, and then Pepsi invented Pepsi Max and gave it really masculine marketing, and they cornered the market in men who are drinking sugar-free drinks. And Coke realized men wouldn't drink Diet Coke because they'd marketed it too well to women. And Pepsi had like, 80% of the young male market for people who wanted sugar-free drinks. And that's why they invented Coke Zero, to have something they could market to males. Musical aviator. I like that. Coke Zero is easier to say in a noisy environment. Coke No sounds like you said Coke but changed your mind. I want a Coke No, sugar. And someone just gives you a bowl of sugar. I like that. Oh, Tara, thank you for sharing, by the way. It's no small thing to share stuff about yourself. And I really genuinely thank you for that. Frank doing a ninja comment there. I love that. He can't actually watch the stream, but he can duck in and leave a comment. All right, maybe you'll watch it back later, mate. And you, hey, how you going? Good on you, buddy. That's good. So, keep meaning to do a video. We're talking about gender roles and stuff marketed to men. And I joked with the way I like this drink, but the marketing of it is fucking stupid. About like masculinity is so fragile. I read this stuff, and I've read variations of this over the years, but there are apparently heterosexual men who are so paranoid about possibly being gay or doing something that could be perceived as gay, they won't wipe their ass. They won't clean their ass. Because even sort of probing upwards with toilet paper or soap in the shower is too gay for them. And it's like, that is horrific that you won't do basic hygiene because you think it makes it gay. Not like having something flowery and smelling nice and whatever, but I am not exaggerating. There are these guys who literally will not wipe their ass because they think that close contact with their own butthole is gay. And it's like, what in the actual fuck is wrong with you? Betharite, you've seen it. Yes, the quote is, real men don't spread their cheeks for anything. Oh my God, like what is actually going on with people like this? It's just like, also like, okay, some guys like their female partner to wear a strap on and butt fuck them, okay? Pegging, it's become known as. And some people go, that's so gay. No, it's gay if you like other dudes. Now, okay, seriously, if you are doing that and fantasizing that it's a guy doing it to you, then you probably need to come to terms with your sexuality a little bit. But the idea that something that your female partner does, and if you have no attraction to men, but thinking that something your female partner does makes you gay is so fucking strange. Dottie, okay, that's just the thing. Look, maybe uncircumcised guys should wipe or take a bit more care with the cleaning, but if you're if you're not circumcised, yeah, no, guys just shake when they pee. They don't wipe. You just don't. I know, Sandman. Look, these topics, you got to be careful. You come into one of my live stream, the topic's going to go from everywhere, from the news of the day to what movies and music we all like, to sex, sexuality, and dudes who won't wipe their butts because they think that makes them gay. Bury, really good point. It's a bisexual guy who doesn't want to take it up the butt. That doesn't make you less bisexual. No, and in fact, some exclusively homosexual men don't like either giving or receiving anal sex. It's not. They're only sexually and romantically attracted to men, but in terms of sexual interaction, anal sex is not something that appeals to them, either giving or receiving. That doesn't make them less gay because they only like dudes. As you say, Aussie Gun Bunny, a lot of dudes get into prostate orgasms from a woman. It doesn't make you gay in the slightest. Unless the whole thing is a fantasy of a guy doing it to you. Is that so, Tara? See, I don't know a lot about gender surgery. If circumcision has an effect on gender reassignment surgery. Okay, I don't know. See, okay, this is funny because I'm also circumcised, as most people of my generation are. It was just a thing that happened. And look, I think people can make arguments back and forth about circumcision. The World Health Organization has gone with they recommend circumcision in Africa because it reduces the likelihood of HIV infection. Sorry, Donny, that comment just cracked me up. If guys want droplets of pee soaking into their jocks, that's fine. It's normal. Totally their own prerogative. I realize the issue is one. That is literally just life, Dotty. That is the universe. You're not wrong. Heteros can be pretty fucking weird, quite honest. The people who insist on a really narrow, constrained frame around their heterosexuality, those people are fucking weird. They're messed up as far as I'm concerned. Aussie Gunbay saying one of the most feminine gay men, refuses to have anal sex because he's worried about stretching his butt, doesn't want to have to wear a butt plug. Might be overthinking it. Might be. I'm not an expert. Okay, Frank, catch you later. Watch it back later, Frank. Hi, Frank, when you're watching this back later. How's it going, mate? Okay, that's fascinating, Tara. There are canals where your testicles were as a kid and your balls dropped in 10 years. You can penetrate those passengers with your fingers, a small vibrator, or penis. There you go. How much of pro-circumcision is religious, though? Okay, musica levata, that's Jewish and Muslim. It's part of the religious structure in Judaism and Islam to do castration. But there was a whole generation in Western countries of just Christian. It was mainstream for just as a matter of course to circumcise boys. Less so now, but in the past it was just a thing that happened. And I find anti-circumcision zealots somewhere between amusing and weird. Look, you can make a case and say, I think we shouldn't do circumcision on infants for this reason. Cool. And choice, decisions, informed consent, all those things. Cool. But the zealots on anything tend to weird me out a bit. But anti-circumcision zealots are fucking weird. Celtic King, nice segue there, my friend. While we're on the subject of asses and assholes, VD doesn't have prostate prostate cancer. I am relieved. Jesus, you know, if you, oh, good night, Graham. If you ever get a chance to talk to the guy or write him a letter or something, just say, I said, oh, sort your shit out. I'm like, dude, I have no ill will towards Video Dude at all, but he has fucking issues. He needs help. He needs counseling. He needs a mental health plan because he's fucked up. Oh, Tara, okay. You know way more about physiology than I do, Tara. Saying with 2 canals, you go to the base of your penis, look up to the left and right by a few centimeters, you'll find those canals. There should be nerve endings there. It's called muffing. Stimulating those canals is called muffing. I learned something tonight. I learned something. I did that. That's a thing I'd never heard of. And yes, Tara, VD was strange. He had issues. He has some mental health issues that need addressing. He needs a professional looking after him because I think he's a danger to himself. There's shit going on there that needs to be sorted out. Yeah, Aussie Gun Bunny, there are definitely medical reasons for circumcision. Like I said, in general, the World Health Organization has said we've done enough analysis to show circumcision reduces the likelihood of sexually transmitted infections, including AIDS. So we recommend it for everyone with a penis. And the funny thing is, this is the thing, because whenever you bring up the thing like it's easier to keep a circumcised penis clean, anti-circumcision zealots go, oh, it's easy to keep an uncircumcised penis clean. Theoretically, it's easier. Which next time I get AIDSy in, because he's seen way more penises than me, said, well, a lot of guys who aren't circumcised really do not do even basic hygiene. Remember I was talking about the guys who don't even wipe their ass? You can imagine how much these guys clean under their foreskin. Like, not at all. But anyway. Oh yeah, you're right, Tara. Circumcision surgery can fuck up. Can be done badly. There can be complications. Can be permanent damage to the penis. It's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. Okay, here's the weird thing. And, space goy. Let people choose for themselves. It's not the worst advice in the world. But, okay, we were talking about the religious aspect of circumcision. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm just going to say it. The Orthodox Jewish method, the religious ceremony of circumcision, is fucking weird. Okay? It's fucking weird because the dude who does the bris, the circumcision, the traditional way of doing it is after cutting off the foreskin, the priest, well, he's not a priest, there's a name for moil. The person who does the circumcision is called a moil. He sucks the blood off the end of the penis. In other words, he sucks the baby boy's dick. Okay. That, in and of itself, is fucked up. But there have also been big controversies in some Jewish communities where a moil has had cold sores, herpes, and an open sores on the lips when they do the circumcision, and then they put those lips on the baby's dick, which has an open cut, and they give the baby herpes, and that can have incredibly serious health complications for the baby. And it's just like so fucked up. Oh my God! When I read that was happening, that there were in New York, there were a couple of big controversies about it. I was like, what the? Who the? And you're right, Miss Fox and Cash. Who the fuck comes up with? I'm going to cut the skin off a baby's dick, and then I'm going to suck the baby's dick. No, oh, no, no. What the fuck is going on there? I don't understand that at all. Yeah. To me, the whole circumcision thing is not black and white. There's a whole bunch of things to be considered. And I've had run-ins with the anti-circumcision zealots over the years. And like most zealots, they're fucking crazy. They, like, you know, it's like, okay, here's reality and here's the anti-circumcision zealots. Stuff they say has no basis in reality. It's just, there's no reality. It's just weird, extreme shit they say that's not connected to reality. And yes, Space Boy, I'm very wary of anyone who frames stuff in purely black and white terms. Like even, okay, let's go like climate change. So obviously the science behind climate change is overwhelming. And I think climate change deniers are dangerous, science denying lunatics. They're ideologically motivated. They don't look at the evidence at all. And they're dangerous to humanity. But while the science is pretty conclusive and overwhelming, what it's saying is basically climate change is real. The primary cause is human activity, and we're in the shit. But no one does know exactly how much shit we're in. And there is a lot of discussion to be had on, well, what's the best way to deal with this? Like, outright denialism is fucking lunacy. But we're not sure what the actual repercussions are. Probably very bad. Probably very, very bad. And as to what we could do, apart from just, you know, fucking burn less coal and put less shit into the atmosphere. So even on something like that, where I think, well, you know, that's really clear. I don't think it's black and white in as much as the exact effects aren't known and the things we can do to counter it, there's a lot to be discussed there. So, yeah. Ooh, nice. You got solar panels, Tara. That's a good one. All right. Toriana, not only am I against female circumcision, I'm against the term female circumcision because it should be rightly called female genital mutilation, because male circumcision, despite the weird shit that the zealots say, is not done to reduce sexual pleasure for men. Certainly hasn't reduced mine. I'm just saying I really enjoy sex, and circumcision has never gotten in the way. But female genital mutilation done by religious extremists, and that is the actual removal of or mutilation of the clitoris, is done to specifically stop women from enjoying sex. So it's like, ugh. So someone's car alarm's gone off outside my house. I hope it's not my car. Yeah, but yes, female genital mutilation is just fucking terrible. Like removal of the clitoris, mutilation of the clitoris is just fucked up. Currently disconnected. How do I know about what? That's a very open-ended question. How do I know about many things? Stitch up the badge. I think we're talking about different things, Tara. People, oh man, people who don't understand what a hymen is. Oh yeah. No. Sorry. Okay. You're talking about male circumcision. Okay. What I'm saying, dude, is that historically, male circumcision has not been done with the express purpose of reducing sexual enjoyment of men. That has not been its purpose. Honestly, I don't know. It has. I think it particularly when you go back in antiquity to the nomadic Hebrews and whatnot, it was a hygiene thing. But and I'm open to being corrected if someone can, you know, provide a citation that there are some groups that performed circumcision with the express purpose of reducing male sexual enjoyment, whereas female genital mutilation, that is its full and central purpose. Hello, video games for fun. Oh yeah, Miss Fox reaction to stitching up the vagina. Man, people who don't understand what a hymen is and vagina. Oh no, you're right. People do fucked up things, and it does my head in. Oh, dude, may I just say currently disconnected? Thank you for sharing, my friend. Your foreskin's very sensitive. Adds to pleasure. Yes, look, and that is cool. I am not, my friend, I am not going to chase you with a knife and try and cut your foreskin off. That is not a thing. That is not a thing that I'm going to try and do. And I'm sure you are relieved to hear that. And I'm perfectly fine with someone with a foreskin saying what additional pleasure it provides them. This is all perfectly valid and real and true. I was literally just saying, to the best of my knowledge, male circumcision is not performed with the express purpose of reducing sexual pleasure in men, whereas female genital mutilation is specifically about reducing sexual pleasure for women. Dude, Aaron, dude, we're having this whole conversation about guys who don't clean anything, guys who won't wipe their butts because they think that will make them gay. If they spread their cheeks, that's gay. Space Goy, that's out of context. I said I'm not going to chase him with a knife and cut his foreskin off. No, mate, I said it before, I'm going to make a video of it. There's this whole subculture of guys who are so homophobic and are so fucked up that they will not wipe their butt. And they won't even go in there with soap in the shower because they think that's gay. How fucked up is that? Dude, like, okay, currently disconnected is someone who's an actual friend of mine, an actual physical friend, and we hang out time to time, Aaron, and he's I'm going to say it, he's a manly man. He's an admirable man. If I was going to put up a man that I admire, I'd put currently disconnected up there. He's a manly man, as far as I'm concerned. But fucking hell, man, I feel like we have to do something to reach these guys, and say, dudes, what the fuck? What? How could you possibly think that? How could you possibly think something that way? Now, seriously, if you want to do your head in, search this up. I think one of the articles had the heading septic masculinity. Like we often talk about toxic masculinity. They called this septic masculinity. It was on Boing Boing, boingboing.net. Look it up because it's fucking. You see, Aussie Gun Bunny, you're saying, imagine the smell of the ass. This is like someone found this subculture on Reddit. This woman saying, "Oh, what's wrong with my husband? Like we have sex, and if he's on the bottom, there'll be like a skid mark on the sheets because he doesn't clean his ass." Sandman, what are you sharing with us, buddy? Penile subincision is body mods consisting of urethrotomy in which the underside of the penis is incised and the urethra is slit open lengthwise from the urethra length to the base. So, dude, okay, thanks for sharing, buddy. Did Viney duff a gay communist in the answer? Maybe. Tara, who doesn't talk about sex, masturbation, and boobs? Honestly, you know, body parts. If what conversation doesn't end up being about sex and body parts and what body parts feel? Okay, Sandman, you've just made me think of Tumblr because fucking Tumblr. You know, you get to a certain age, think, okay, I've heard of everything, I know everything, I know about body mods, I know about all these extreme sex acts, and I've seen stuff, and I've seen weird porn, and I've seen this crazy stuff. Oh yeah, and then there's Tumblr, where I find out there are people fucking putting glow sticks up their urethra. And this is both men and women. And it's like, okay, cool. I didn't know about that before. I didn't know about that. I learned something. Not necessarily sure I needed to know that, but I do know it now. Sandman, once people get into cutting, in terms of body mods, scarification, ritual sex, once people get into cutting, it's pretty fucking weird as far as I am concerned. Yeah, currently disconnected. Not where you put your glue stick, man. I was really surprised when I saw that. I was like, for real? For real? People do that? Okay. I also saw a pretty unique use of gummy worms that I never expected to see. And I saw that on Tumblr and it was like, okay. I'll tell you, you're right about people sticking things up their bums and vaginas. There's I forget what website it was, but they research medical records, and at the end of each year, they tend to publish what did we stick up our bums this year, and they just go through all these outpatients reports of things lodged in body parts that shouldn't be lodged in body parts. And yeah, what are people sticking in themselves this year? I was like, yeah, Dottie, it's a variation of sounding, basically. You're right. But no, it's glow sticks. And they were activated glow sticks as well. So the videos were very fun visually. It did my head in a little bit. But yeah. Yeah, the X-rays. So that was in one episode of Scrubs, with the doctors looking at an X-ray, going like, "Well, either this guy's colon just had a great idea, or he stuck a light bulb up his bum." You know, it's like even on one episode, one of the Jackass movies, as a laugh, they said, "Let's set a doctor up." They convinced one of the guys to stick a Matchbox car up his butt. It was in a condom, so it could be easily removed. But so they convinced him to stick a Matchbox car up his butt and then go to a doctor saying, "Oh, there's a party and I drank too much and oh, my butt feels really sore. There's something wrong. I don't know what's wrong." And so the doctor did an X-ray. And of course, there's a toy car up the guy's butt, and it was like this. It was quite an old. I think it's like an Eastern European dude. Being, well, you know, we've got an interesting thing on the X-ray, and kind of like, yeah, that's what happened at the party. And they were basically just setting the doctor up. This guy knew he had a toy car up his butt, and they wanted the doctor to do an X-ray to see how the doctor reacted. And my favorite bit was at the end of the movie. There was a credit sequence during the credits. It's they told the doctor, I did this on a dare. It wasn't, I knew I stuck it up there on a dare and it was for our movie. And the doctor's just going, really? Really? That's something you chose to do? Really? Okay. Sure. Sure. Good. Whatever. Like, while all that Jackass stuff is stupid, I do have to admit I find a lot of it entertaining. It's just like, it's literally everything in Jackass is stuff that drunk guys have always talked about. Like, what wouldn't it be funny if you did this? And 999 times out of 1,000, or 999,999 times out of 1,000,000, no one does it. But the Jackass guys decided, let's just do it. Oh my God. Miss Foxification. It's the anniversary of the day that Deputy Editor of the NT News, Paul Dyer, was bestowed with a Walkley Award, which is the highest award for journalism in Australia, by the way. And this guy was bestowed with a Walkley Award, writing the headline, "Why I Stuck a Cracker Up My Clacker." Yeah, NT News is pretty special. They specialise in doing all caps headlines and making stuff really outrageous. Remember, if you're online, if you've seen jokes about Florida Man, Florida Man does something crazy. Australia's equivalent of Florida Man is NT News. NT News, the Northern Territory News, does really, really interesting stories. Oh, sorry, more from Miss Foxification. Alex Bowden, 23, of Waggaman, put a spinning flying bee winged firework in his butt crack during a party at a rented house on Rossiter Street, Rapid Creek on Saturday night. Good. Hey, Grasshopper, how are you doing? I think we've all been doing well. We are at the part of the conversation where we are talking about sticking things in bodily orifices. So, brace yourself. That's all I'm saying. This is where every conversation ends up if it goes on for long enough. So, here's the thing. This just reminded me of something. I grew up in a country town, Western New South Wales. Racist as fuck. The town generally, and me specifically, growing up in this town. And here's an interesting thing with young people. If you had any young people, this is when we're still at school, talking about, eventually, no matter what you were talking about, the conversation would turn to, and I'm talking about, okay, get a bunch of white kids together, conversation would turn to everyone's biggest fear was suffering extreme violence at the hand of Aborigines. And none of us had ever experienced it personally, but it was what everyone was scared of. We're all scared of a thing that never actually happened. And I had this experience. Okay, I went to Catholic school as well, right? They were fucking totally repressed Catholic virgin throughout school. Never allowed to go out and do stuff. But we joined this group, YCS, Young Christian Students. And the reason we joined this group is because you got to go out on a weeknight and have a meeting at the Christian Youth Centre. And it was because this was the only thing our parents would let us go out to. And it's not that none of us were particularly devout Christians, but if we joined this group, we could go out and socialize on a weeknight and talk about stuff. and I was a Christian. I definitely was, but we weren't that devout. But we could go out and socialize. Our parents would let us do it because it was young Christian students. It was obviously safe. And it was. We didn't get up to anything, really. But I remember one of the groups, we split into different groups and we're talking about stuff. My group was talking about this, that, and the other. And we ended up talking about how we were scared of Aboriginal kids and Aboriginal adults, and we thought we were going to get beaten up or whatnot. And then my group, when we walked in to join the other group, they were in the middle of a conversation about how scared they were of groups of Aboriginal kids. And I was like, what the fuck? How did we both end up at this conversation independently? And none of us had ever been beaten up by Aboriginal kids or Aboriginal adults. None of us had ever experienced this, but all of us thought this was something that was going to happen to us. It's really fucking weird. Ooh, Dead Viney Duffer. Why don't kids talk about deconstructing patriarchal values? That, my friend, is a good question. Mofo, I'm cooking very well. Thank you very much, my friend. Talking about kids deconstructing stuff. I don't know about anyone else, but I spend a bit of time on a site called Imgur, which was originally set up just as an free image sharing site for Reddit, but then developed a life of its own. You share images, whether they're funny or meaningful or whatever, people vote better. And it's a whole running joke with people on the site that we're vying for imaginary internet points. Like you get points for having your images upvoted. They're meaningless. You don't get anything for them. You don't make money. You don't do anything. So it's an in-joke on the site that we're all desperately vying for imaginary internet points. I posted heaps of stuff on there, and some of it's been really popular. And I'll try and find one because it's a funny picture. Let me go Imgur. I'll find it and find my profile, and it's a picture of an owl because a video game's fun. Your internet's stuffing up, so you got to go. Okay, bye. Oh, Miss Foxification, you're absolutely right. Imgur is a massive circle jerk. The site is full of fuckwits. The site is full of people I really don't like. It is full of colossal assholes. Okay, here's the picture. I found it. There is a. They're pretending to be like an independent sort of activist group, Students for Liberty. It's a AstroTurf thing set up by some extreme right-wing group in the US, trying to promote conservative ideals. Fine, that's your thing, whatever. And they posted this meme. I'll try to see. It's a picture of an owl pulling a stupid face that says, "When someone praises socialism." And so the idea is, if someone praises socialism, it's stupid. But what I saw that on Twitter, and someone posted saying, "Hey, I'm an owl expert, an ornithologist. That owl is in fact orgasming," which of course turns that idea on its head. They think the owl's just pulling a face like you're stupid. So if someone is praising socialism, you think they're stupid. But someone's saying, well, that owl's actually orgasming. So with that same caption you put, when someone praises socialism, it's like you have an orgasm if someone praises socialism. So I posted that screenshot on Imgur under the heading, "When Owls Seize the Means of Production." And it was popular. People thought it was funny. And the idea is, it was funny because it turned something on its head. These people presented an image saying, this image presents my point of view, and someone else said, you don't know what you're talking about. That image actually produces the reverse of your point of view. And that was what was funny about it. And it was popular, and a lot of people voted for it, and a lot of people said, ha ha. There were these weird, fanatical people like, MJ promotes violent socialism. And it's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? It was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke about an owl orgasming. And it was just like, you know, what's not funny about an owl coming, honestly? And people are just so fucked. Wow. Sorry, Dottie. I just read your comment. You're in Scouts. You interacted with youth group kids on occasion, but were amazed at how lame they were, and eventually their leaders forbade them from associating with you because you're a bad influence. Oh my god, that's fucking awesome. Okay, my drink's empty. I think that's a good reason to say good evening to all of you. I have had a lot of fun. I always have a lot of fun. I always have a lot of fun interacting with everyone live. I certainly did tonight, as per usual. I thank you all for joining in on this because that makes it lots of fun for me. I hope you'll be back again soon. I'll try and be back more often. Do pre-recorded video occasionally, live videos. You know, Easy might come along again. It's always good to have him. Thank you all for joining in. You know, if you want to click on the thumbs up, my endless quest to make the Google algorithm to think I'm actually popular. Although if I was actually popular, I couldn't manage the fucking comments, so I wouldn't be able to interact with everyone. And I really enjoy doing that. So enjoy yourself, everyone. Have yourself a good time. I've really enjoyed it. And I will be back again soon. Thank you very much, and bye.